So what we're going to do is we're going to create a strategic plan. We're going to start with the end result. So that's what I mean by end result thinker. It's I know my outcome. And we're going to take this end result thinking to create the strategic plan. We're going to do it Mary style. So you can use the example that I chose, or you can just pick your own outcome that you want to start with. But I'm going to give the example that was something we were working on recently in the office. So the end result we were looking for, well, before I say this, does there anybody have like an idea in their mind what they want to do? Okay, good. So you can write that one on here, and if you want to ask me about it, or if we want to use yours as an example, that will work too. So I'm just going to go over mine, and then we can go over some of yours. Does everyone have a pen? I think there was one. Okay, great. So we want to, as our end result, which we're going to start at the top with the end result, hire 6 people who are right for the positions, have critical thinking skills, and are looking for long-term employment and growth opportunities. So we started with that end result in mind. And then the next thing I do is I ask myself questions about what needs to happen in order to achieve this end result. So I don't get super detailed here, but I just came up with this short list of what needs to happen in order to achieve this end result. The first thing was assemble a team. Secondly, attract candidates. Third, update training materials. Fourth, by the way, they're not in order either. They don't have to be like 1 through 6. Set up interview criteria. Hire only the best of the best. Set training schedules for boot camps. Now, the next thing that I do is take each one of those things, which, by the way, each one of these items can actually become its own one-page plan. So if, this was a pretty simple exercise to choose, hiring people, but let's say my outcome was going to be, I am a property owner, I want to have 1,000 units in the next 2 years. Well, then I would probably need to take each one of these items and also make it into its own end result. And then you can just keep going on and on and on from there. So this is what my one-page action plan ended up looking like at the end. Assemble a team. So I asked myself, who will be on the team and what role will each person be? So the team is Roxy, Alex, Deb, and Bob. Roxy is the team lead and will be the main person to organize the resumes, interviews, and hiring. Deb will assist in phone and in-person interviews. Alex will set up testing and maintain the testing schedule. Bob will coordinate advertising and review everyone else's efforts. The next thing was attract candidates. How? What needs to be done internally to attract the best candidates? So what we did was sign up for a job fair, advertise in the News Gazette and Indeed.com. I had a staff meeting with all of the staff, not just the training or not just the hiring team, but all of the staff on what I call the how of wow. So if anyone wants to know about the how of wow, you can ask me later. It's really cool, actually. And then the next thing was update training material, because every time we hire, we always find something wrong or amiss in the training material. So I had met with Misty and Roxy and had them comb through all the training material, synchronize it so that they all had the same training material, and make any updates that were necessary. Also, set up interview criteria. Now, I know that sounds like, why would you need to set up interview criteria? Well, because there were 6 different positions being hired for, and so I really wanted to give some coaching on how to determine who was going to be right for what position. And so what I did was meet with Roxy first to coach her how I wanted that to look. So it was things like review the resume a few minutes before the interview, highlight 3 or 4 things on the resume that pertain specifically to the skill set, and ask them questions about it. So we really got that detailed. Also, hire only the best of the best. In the past, I would find that we would like people so much. Everyone who came and interviewed with us, we wanted to hire them because we just liked them. a lot. And we would hire them and they would be awful. Awful. Like that people, that can't clean up their station or if they're making the same mistakes all the time. We had to let those people go because they were not profitable employees. So what we had to do was determine if we had, by the way, we had over 50 or 60 applicants. We had a lot to go through. And what we had to do was decide we were only going to hire the best of the best. So even if we liked 3 people, we only picked the one that was like the standout between those 3. So that was a little difficult for us because we really do like everyone. And then setting up a hiring and training schedule. So who is going to be responsible for the training? We set up a training team and what needs to be included. So we have in our office a 3-week boot camp. I really recommend doing this. 3-week boot camp means that everyone who gets hired in our office actually gets trained on every job. So they get trained as an entry-level person for 3 weeks. They learn data entry, they learn how to do mail returns, they learn all the basics, because what I have found is that when they move into their actual position, so maybe they are a legal clerk, they understand the computer system so much more. We all have these proprietary software systems that you have to learn. And if they learn the basic tasks, it makes it easier for them to learn the more complicated ones. If you actually do steps 1 and 2, meaning the ABC list and the end result, 1-page action plan, what will happen is you will become very clear on your specific outcomes. Business can be so complex, and the more you can make it simple, the easier it is for everyone. Being clear on the action steps you have to take and giving you an action-based step-by-step plan.